Today on Talking Democracy, I welcome Ellis County Commissioner Glenn Diehl to the show. The Ellis County Commission is one of the many levels of government that citizens in a democracy deal with every day. You might not know much about the Ellis County Commission, but the important role they play is something you should. We'll introduce you to the Ellis County Commission and Commissioner Glenn Diehl today on Talking Democracy. Welcome to Talking Democracy, and welcome to Glenn Diehl from the Ellis County Commission. Thanks for joining me tonight.
You're welcome.
And as we've talked about before, one of the things that I think people have this big blind spot about is county government. So I'm doubly glad that you could join us tonight and want to talk more about what the Ellis County Commission is and what it does. But let's start. Tell us about you and how you came to be on the Ellis County Commission.
Well, I was born in Newton, but my family was originally from the local area. Mm-hmm. When I was 3, my father moved back to Hayes with my mom, of course, and 2 of my older brothers and my youngest one brother was born in Hayes. Mm-hmm. The rest of the boys were born in Newton. And I went to grade school here in Hayes, went to Thomas More Prep, went to Fort Hays State University, got a Bachelor of Science degree in geology. Mm-hmm. Did take some political science as some general eds, and I've always been interested in politics.
Was going to be my next question.
Whether, it just has been a kind of an interest of mine.
Yeah.
And when the wind farm controversy first came up, I live out close, within a mile of the proposed wind farm location, and I wrote letters to the Planning Commission and my local commissioner, which was Dennis Vaughn still. And I just felt at that time that people were not listening to concerns of various residents around the proposed wind farm. Mm-hmm. And as time went on, I started investigating county government because like you said, I knew very little about it.
And the wind farm stuff was really complex because we've had people from the Ellis County Environmental Awareness Coalition on when that debate was going on. A lot of it had to do with the technicalities of zoning regulations.
Right.
And that's the kind of stuff that even makes my head spin a little bit. So it's sort of a crash course for you in all of those legalities and all that technical stuff.
For the last 3 years, yes. It's been a lot of time researching various zoning regulations, wind farms, but I find that interesting. Mm-hmm. You know, I think when I decided to run, I didn't like the polarization that was causing the community. Mm-hmm. I thought at the time, that to me, politics is the art of compromise, and I was seeing no compromise on either side. Mm-hmm. So that was one of the goals I had, is if I could get on the commission, was to come up with some type of compromise between the two sides. Mm-hmm. And one of the first things that I was encouraged to do when I got on the commission was for this mediated settlement, which we're able to do. Iberdrola agreed to it, the plaintiffs agreed to it, and Ellis County agreed to it. And it really has calmed down some of the flames that was dividing the community.
Sure. So had you always kind of had in mind that you might run for office, or was it just something where you were happy being politically aware, a little bit involved, and then this issue, you just felt compelled that you had to run?
For public office, yes. I've been involved at schools, I've been at church. Yeah. Getting on councils and boards at the school and church, and I've always been kind of interested in that. But this kind of pushed me into the public realm. I just wanted to see some compromise, and I think we've reached that point.
And so you decided to run against Dennis Vaughn, and you won that election.
And we had more than just the wind farm at that time too. We also had the Hadley situation. I was not for Hadley. I think, that was, to me, that was a waste of taxpayer money, and luckily the the voters agreed that they didn't want to pay the $5 million for the bond issue.
Absolutely.
And the $3 million in interest and all that.
We need to take a quick break, but I want to talk more about that and your sort of crash course in county government when we come back from this short break.
I didn't know that Hayes had a county commission. Well, I imagine they did because it's a county in Kansas, but I just haven't heard anything about the county commission in Hayes specifically, so I know nothing about it.
We're back with Ellis County Commissioner Glenn Diehl, and before the break we were talking a little bit about your and how it was really this organic thing. You'd felt that your representative on the commission wasn't really listening, and talked a little bit more about that decision.
Well, the other thing was on the Hadley situation. Courthouse security, we were hearing we need to do something for courthouse security, and their solution was to move offices out into Hadley. And I thought, that there has to be a better way. First of all, the county commission meets in a courtroom. The courts need courtroom space. Simple solution to me was, let's just meet in the evenings and open up that room for the courts.
Yeah.
They got an extra day of courtroom space at extremely little cost to the taxpayer. I mean, far less than a $5 million bill for Hadley.
Truly.
And I also like meeting in the evenings because citizen participation has gone up dramatically. Used to be when we'd meet in the morning, you might have one or two people mosey in and out. Now we usually have people all through the entire length of our meeting because they're able to actually show up and see how county government works. I think that's great.
Very good. It is a good thing to have that access for people.
Sure.
So, were you kind of encouraged to run by a couple of people, or did you just not see anybody stepping up and think that you needed to take the initiative yourself?
I had some people ask me to run, and at first I rejected that. I said, "Nah, it's not for me, and I'm comfortable with doing my volunteer work at the church and school." But then the farther we got into it, I thought, nobody else was really jumping in. I said, why not? I've been interested in politics. Why not take that step and see if I can't make a difference for Ellis County?
Very good. And so over the last 2 years, you've been trying to act on that as the newest member of the county commission. And I think a lot of people really don't have an idea about what the county commission's responsibilities are, especially so many of our viewers live here in the city of Hayes. They've got the Hayes City Commission, and they get confused about having those two levels of government. Could you clarify a little bit, what does the Ellis County Commission do?
Right. The county commission and our county government in general is an extension of the state government, basically. You go to pay your taxes for your tags on your car. The state of Kansas gets the money, but you go to the Ellis County treasurer and do it that way. We're basically a arm of state government, the county level. Also, we provide local service that the state does not, ambulance service.
Sure.
We have the sheriff who provides for the courts, if they need to have process serving, that's the sheriff is entrusted to do that. He's also, patrols the rural areas, investigates crime outside of city limits. Then we also have the county appraiser. Basically, the state says you will appraise property in Kansas according to our rules. So again, we're a arm of the state government, basically, at the county level, implementing state rules and regulations. So, those are just a few examples of what county government does.
Do you find that the state gives you a lot of direction, or do you feel like you have a fair amount of autonomy